Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to Soul Good. Thank you so much for joining me. It's a blessing and pleasure to be here with you. I would like to encourage you to trust that whenever you have found yourself here, there are likely to be messages within the contents of this video for you. Please use your discernment. Take only what resonates with you and leave the rest for someone else. Do not make it your story if it isn't. So you could be someone who has essentially been in the trenches. And I've been called to put emphasis on the fact that you've been facing darkness with light. Okay, it's almost like this, how would I say, this disinfecting kind of energy. There's this feeling of having things coming to the surface and not running from them, okay? Even when you would rather not deal with certain things, even if you would rather, tuck it back down, I don't want to deal with this today type of thing, there's still this energy of facing whatever's come to the surface. You could actually be someone who would classify this as, a dark night of the soul or something very similar to that. But there is this realization that in order to grow, in order to move forward, in order to evolve, in order to truly find yourself, there has to be this revealing happening. And so darkness has or has begun to reveal itself. And the interesting thing about this is because you have been allowing darkness to be revealed from within yourself, it is also being revealed externally. Okay? And what makes that even more fascinating is that the darkness that you may be seeing, witnessing outside of yourself would rather that not be the case. The light or the light within you has illuminated it to you. For someone listening, this may be something that has actually been unfolding for some time. You could be someone who is highly sensitive to the energies of others. And so you may have picked up on things intuitively and perhaps, tried to see the best in people, or tried to see the best in others, or thought maybe you were just being extra sensitive or something of that nature, right? It's to be quite honest, there's a feeling of almost like gaslighting yourself, okay? Almost like trying to convince yourself that you're not seeing what you're seeing or you're not feeling what you're feeling, trying to bypass it, trying to give certain people or certain situations the benefit of the doubt, right? But it feels as though more recently, which can mean a lot of things, by the way, but more recently, it seems as though things have become much clearer. So this unraveling or this unveiling has begun. And I got this heavy sensation of as above, so below. In other words, what you've seen, others will soon see as well. Right? Because again, there's this unraveling or this unveiling happening. And so you'll likely feel as though, oh my gosh, I was right. You knew the lies from truth. And again, others soon will see that too, right? There could be others where they're starting to come to you with certain stories or, vibes or whatever it is, and they're saying certain things and you're like, wait a minute, I actually already knew this. Like I've known this for a minute, right? And again, more recently, it's likely become that much clearer. There's a feeling of God bringing it through perhaps so clearly or so often that you cannot ignore it, right? You cannot bypass what it is you're feeling or what God is showing you. So I did hear, get ready, because exposure is imminent. I don't know how this is going to show up. I don't know what this is going to look like. I don't know who this is specifically specifically for you or around you. This could also be in the world. I feel like we're already starting to see this happening, so it could be showing up in your communities, within the collective at large. But I do feel like this is also impacting us as individuals. And so the energy that has been masked, this dark energy, these dark forces that have been masked for some time, are going to be revealed as treacherous, vile, even having a very hateful heart. Okay, so when I was getting these words, I'm like, wow, that's that's intense. So you guys, this really does feel, especially on a collective level, there could be a lot of shock around this. There could certainly be a lot of shock within certain relationship dynamics as well, because again, whoever these individuals are, they're very good. They've been very good at wearing a mask. They have been very good at putting on one mask to the next, to the next, to the next, to keep their truth hidden, to keep up the facade, to keep people around them believing the stories, believing the masks. It's so crazy because I feel like to some degree there's this sense of knowing that they've been seen. For some, they've let the mask slip and have tried to kind of cover it up. They've tried to fix it. They've tried to kind of cover their tracks. They've tried to hurry up and put the mask back on. But again, there is a feeling of you've seen them, and others have seen them too. Others may be lying to themselves, maybe gaslighting or deceiving themselves into believing they didn't see what they saw. And that's going to be something they're going to have to come to terms with on their own, right? But this individual or these individuals, this situation, whatever it may be for you, they may have tried to make you look bad or tried to convince other people that you're the bad guy or there's something wrong. They may have tried to alter or influence others' perceptions of you. And I feel like this is to prevent you from leaking what you've seen. I feel like it's been to try to limit you from exposing them. They may have felt as though they've gotten away with it, right? They could have isolated you in some way, or again, kind of convinced other people that you are a certain way. It's almost like trying to like blot you out, trying to kind of cut you off from other people. Again, this isolated kind of feeling. And I'm getting this very charismatic, narcissistic energy. Okay. Again, this is someone who wears a lot of masks, a lot of masks. And what's even more fascinating about this to me is I actually started bringing in messages back in December of 24 that I feel like align with this, that are connected to this for some, which you can go back and you can see starting back on December 15th, 24, December 16th, 2024, December 24th, 2024, and then I had 3 messages that I shared from January 1st, 2025 that I feel all connect to this in a way. And again, that may not be for everyone, but there are threads of what is showing up here in those messages. If you want the confirmation that this is something that I started sharing back in mid-December of 2024, you can feel free to go look there, okay? Like, I'm not just pulling these things out of the air. This has been something that has been unfolding, okay? Something that I feel God has been bringing forward, Christ, the angels have been revealing over time. And it's this kind of slowly but surely type of vibe, right? Where some people can see things and can play the observer and navigate them, and others can really, really struggle with truth being revealed, because of course, you know, the truth will set you free, but first it's going to hurt a lot. And there are some who maybe are more emotionally responsible, accountable, more emotionally mature, who again can kind of play that observer and take these things and just, okay, I see it, it is what it is, you know, Jesus take the wheel type of vibe, while others can be shattered by these things, you know, because coming face to face with a lie, especially if you've created what you feel are deep, meaningful relationships with certain people, or deep and meaningful situations, or what you have felt have been deep and meaningful, and are finding out that you've actually been dealing with a narcissist or a liar. I mean, that's really, really hard, right? Like that is not something easy to digest, to come to terms with, even if you are someone who is more aware, more mature, etc. You know, it's like, okay, well, dang, like that kind of sucks. You know what I'm saying? So there's some other things I just want to share with you. Lapis lazuli could be a significant stone for you at present. That could be confirmation for someone. I got that just as I was sitting down, actually. So you could be someone who maybe recently bought some lapis lazuli, or perhaps you just started carrying it, or maybe you've seen references to it more recently. Lapis lazuli is known as a more intuitive stone. And so if you're someone who has felt pulled to pick up some lapis lazuli, that may be confirmation for you to do that now. But again, you could be someone who maybe just started carrying it, or feels especially drawn to it, or something of that nature. And then I also got the number 444. So you could be seeing that number, or seeing repeating fours. And the message that I got with that is actually these foundational shifts. Okay, and that would be shifts in your beliefs, shifts in your physical world, and absolutely 100% shifts in your relationships, more specifically. You could be someone who, the way I'm kind of seeing it, is going through with like a hedge trimmer and just cutting ties with people. The reason I feel like these ties are being cut is because your tolerance for the dishonesty, for gaslighting, for narcissism, these types of very immature behaviors is slim to none. So please just take what resonates with you, leave whatever doesn't for someone else. Let's dive into the cards and see what else would like to come through. I'm very curious to see why I felt so called to share these messages. So buckle up, let's get into it and see what wants to come through. I'm also getting something with the throat, likely connected to the throat chakra. But you could be someone who is recovering from a cold or a sore throat or something of that nature. That could just be additional confirmation. Let's see what the cards want to say. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Christ, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves. What else would like to be shared, please? What else do we need to know? What else would like to be shared? What messages would like to come through, please? Okay. I'm getting a feeling that things may have been messy lately. Things may have felt all over the place for you. You may be someone who has been wondering where things are going, or where you should be going. I just get the feeling that things may have felt a bit all over the place, a bit scattered. Okay. So we start off here with the femme fatale in the reverse or shadow attribute position. And it says inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money and power. You can't make this up. This could be someone for you who is a female or more feminine in their nature, but absolutely attachment to money and power, 100%. I absolutely was getting that even as I was writing down the messages before I sat down here. I feel like for some, this is someone who will go to great lengths to keep their money and keep their power. Interesting that I was getting that charismatic energy as well with this femme fatale who, you know, is going to use their sensuality to get what they want. I'm getting gaslighting heavily with this energy as well, especially if this is someone who is going to use their sensuality or their femininity to get what they want. Like I'm seeing someone smiling very big and batting their eyes. I'm even seeing someone like sitting on someone else's lap, and it's very phony to anyone with eyes to see, okay? But this feels like someone who will try pretty much anything to get what they want. Like they'll pretty much do just about anything. I don't feel like there's a whole lot that's off limits for this person. And then there's someone who would then pretend or act as if they didn't do that. Right? Again, there's that gaslighting type of energy. But if this isn't someone who is a female or feminine in nature, this is someone who is absolutely attached to money and power. And again, will go to great lengths to hold on to that. This is also likely someone who flaunts that around. Okay, so they would be someone who will just throw money around like it has no end, even if there's someone who doesn't have this massive wealth. There's this feeling of like pretending that they do or acting as if they do. Similarly with power, okay, to anyone who is maybe not caught up in their ego or isn't feeding this individual's ego, you could look at this person while they walk around as if they have all of this power, and there's almost a sickening feeling that you might get because they walk around like on a high horse. And again, anyone who isn't feeding their ego or has the eyes to see and ears to hear is going to recognize this. Like you would see it as someone who walks tall but is small, okay? Looks down on others, is very even entitled. They feel very entitled. They feel like people or the world owe them something, very gossipy, talks a lot about other people, is someone who would absolutely 100% lay other people's personal business out for others to see for no good reason whatsoever other than to make themselves look good or to appear better than. You guys get what I'm saying? This is to me, the energy just feels very gross. Okay, I don't know any other way to put that. It just feels gross. And I think it's fascinating AF that the first card that would come out would be black. Now, I'm not a hater of the color black. Actually, a vast majority of my wardrobe is black. I actually have on a black shirt right now. The sweatshirt that I'm wearing says, what is it? I don't even, it says something about the color black. actually. So I'm not a hater of the color black, but it's fascinating that we are talking about darkness. And the first card to come out has this black border, right? And the person in the card is wearing a black ensemble. Like, I just think you really can't make that up, right? So definitely dark coming to light. This is someone who is very, very much dependent on other people to feed their ego. Very, very much so. And actually, I feel like there's someone who, if they started losing things, I feel like they would probably lose their mind. Like, you would probably see them unravel very quickly, actually. We have a mediator in the upright or light attribute position. Gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life. Respect for both sides of an argument. So it's quite fascinating to me because we see this character here in the middle who, you know, has these two other, this what appear to be a man and a woman with their back turned. And the way that I'm seeing this actually is, you may be someone who is just trying to live your life, not trying to, what is it, please? Yes, thank you. The phrase I'm actually getting is, you know, picking your, or choosing your battles wisely, right? I feel like you're someone who is well aware that these individuals are going to be revealed. There's something about this where it's, God has just kind of advised you to sit back and watch, right? To sit back and let God do what God does, because nothing goes unseen by God, even though these individuals or this individual, whatever the situation may be for you, even though they may walk around as though they are God, they're going to find out at some point that that is not the case. It feels as though they're going to be humbled by God, and you're just kind of sitting back, keeping things very neutral. So the part that's standing out the most for me is this strategy in professional and personal life. Okay? There's a feeling of, it is in my best interest to just sit back. It is in my best interest to just let things unfold. Again, choosing your battles wisely. And I feel as though not only is that surrender to God and faith in God, but it is also protection for you to be in this kind of neutral space. That's not to say that you haven't felt, you know, disgusted or sickened by this individual or whatever's going on, but there is this feeling of, I'm just going to let God handle it. And realizing that it is in your best interest to do that. Not only that, but I get this strong sense that you could be someone who recognizes that everyone has their own journey. Everyone has free will, and whatever they decide to do is on them. There are people surrounding this individual or this group of individuals, whatever it is. There are people surrounding them who are just kind of feeding their ego, who are just playing into the game, you know, pretending that they don't see what they've seen. And that is their choice. And there's something about this energy that feels as though you recognize that, right? And again, it's all part of this very kind of strategic vibe that I'm getting, which feels orchestrated by something greater than yourself. Something essentially telling you, let things play out. Let things play out, because you have been shown the truth and you've made certain decisions. You've been guided to do certain things, and that is going to protect you. It's essentially God saying, I've got your back. But some of these individuals have made certain choices to align with this darkness or to align with this, narcissistic energy. And there's this almost this collateral damage type of energy. So again, there's this very neutral feeling that's like, I'm just going to stay out of it. Distancing yourself far enough that you don't get swept up in the chaos when the ish hits the fan, right? So it's super fascinating to me, this energy. Wow. Oh my gosh, you're not going to believe what I just heard. So first, let me just share, this is the king in the reverse or shadow attribute position. And it says, excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. Can't make it up again, but what I heard is the king will fall. The king will fall. So again, it is this, I'm just going to stay back. I think it's also very, very fascinating that we have this feminine energy here. Like, just kind of see what I'm getting. So we have this femme fatale here. Okay, I don't know, hopefully you guys can see through the glare, but we have the femme fatale, right, with the woman here, or feminine energy. Then we have what appears to be a feminine energy here. This would be you in the middle, regardless of whatever gender you are or identify with. And then we have here what appears to be a male or masculine energy, and the king, which of course is also masculine, right? This could definitely, this could absolutely be relationships between individuals, certainly, romantic relationships, where you can see very clearly what's happening. Okay, I don't know, it just feels like there's this very interesting imbalance that's being shown, right? That it's coming through as an imbalance of masculine and feminine energies. Whether this is those who are of the female or male sex is irrelevant, but there's an imbalance of that energy. Okay, someone who is likely in their more shadow feminine, or their shadow masculine, or they may very quickly shift from one to the other, right? But here you are in the middle. It's like yes, thank you. It's like being in the eye of a hurricane or in the eye of a tornado, right? Where everything is very still and you can see all of this unfolding. You can see this unraveling. You can see all of this chaos happening, right? You can see that attachment to money and power, that entitlement, that rulership without restraint. Again, this is someone who thinks that there's something that they're not. And I truly feel that if this is for you, this is someone who is going to be humbled by God. This is someone who likes to play God, who thinks that they have the world in the palm of their hand, and they're going to find out that they don't. I'm getting this feeling of, yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about, right? You could name them. I'm not telling you to name them, okay? But what I'm saying is you could very easily say, boop, this is who it is. Or this is who these people are. And it does feel as though it's like God has kind of pulled you away from it, okay? And the fascinating part about this, they may feel as though they've claimed some kind of victory because they've isolated you. And in all reality, God's like, no, sorry, sweets, that's how I wanted it. Because we don't want you being collateral damage. So it's actually saved you. That's how this feels. Wow. Wow. I mean, I just heard let the chips fall where they may. So take that how it resonates. What other messages would like to come through, please? Okay, thank you. I get the feeling that this person or this group of individuals or this situation, whatever it is, has caused you a bit of a headache. Okay? There's a feeling of, oh my gosh, will this ever end? Okay, so you could have some kind of ties with this person, right? They could maybe be family or something. Like, there's a feeling of being connected to this situation or whatever it is, and not having a sure way to kind of get away from it. Or maybe you have thought you've gotten away from it, but it's rearing its ugly head again and again and again. Something like that. I feel like whatever has happened more recently has been kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. It's the thing that has showed you this person is not changing. This person is not growing. They're not evolving. And maybe, again, you were someone who was giving the benefit of the doubt, hoping that they were growing, hoping that they were changing and evolving. And maybe they even fooled you for a time where you thought that they had done that. They certainly have a lot of people around them fooled. And again, maybe they fooled you for a time, but this feels to me, again, kind of like this, no, I'm sorry, this is how it is, right? It feels a bit, I want to be very careful about the words I'm using here, but it almost feels absolute. Now, certainly no one is beyond redemption, okay? Everyone can turn to God, everyone can atone, seek forgiveness, but there's a feeling here of you having moved to a point in your own evolution, in your own journey, where they're out of reach for you, if that makes sense, or there's such a distance between you and this person or this group, whatever, that it's like you just can't go back to this. You just can't keep engaging with this. Does that make sense? For some of you, you may even you may have even feared this person or this group or something at one point. And if that's the case, I feel like that was intentional. Yeah, okay. This person could have also been abusive, okay? Thank you. All right, let's see what we have. So we do have the star here in the reverse. Yeah, it feels like this person is very detached from themselves, very detached from spirit, very detached from their emotions, very entrenched in the more logical world, the more intellectual, material world. They may be someone who doesn't believe in having a soul or doesn't believe in God. Oh, I'm actually getting, they could pretend as though they believe in God, but that is not something that shows through in their actions and what they do. This could also be someone who is very, the word I'm getting actually, which is odd, but this could be someone who is also delusional about their life. They may feel like they've been blessed. They may feel like they've gotten everything that they want. But, oh, okay, yeah, I'm getting Job, the story of Job. I think it's Job 1:21, which essentially, and forgive me, I'm paraphrasing, but it's, you know, God giveth and God taketh away. Oh, wow, we have the King of Swords coming through. I mean, yeah. Interesting, right? Because the star, of course, is Aquarius energy, and the King of Swords also has that Aquarian thread. So there is, and you know, here's the King of Swords with the sword and the sickle, and it's like coming through, like truth is going to, like, the way it's coming through is, you know, the truth is coming through to cut down all the lies. You can't manipulate truth itself. Does that make sense? I know that's kind of deep, but there's this, you can't manipulate the truth. You can't manipulate God. You can't lie to God. You can't lie to the truth. There's this feeling of, you know, thinking you've got away with something, but it catching up to you, which is interesting, right? Because the star, of course, we have this woman who's sitting in place, and then we have the King of Swords on the chariot with his sword and a sickle saying, I'm sorry, you cannot run the truth. Not forever. Wow, we have Temperance showing up as well. You truly cannot make this up. I mean, because here's the thing, right? Temperance is balance. Temperance is harmony. And here you are in the middle, right? Here you are, the mediator. Sagittarius could be significant for someone. It could be one of your big three. It doesn't have to be. That just could be further confirmation for someone. But here you are in the middle. Keeping peace in your own life. Keeping harmony in your own life. This energy feels like it likes to or tries to take people to extremes, right? Like this would be someone who perhaps lifts people really high, makes them feel very comfortable, makes them feel loved, and like, yeah, thank you, Holy Spirit, I'm getting love bombing. They could make people feel really good about themselves 1 minute, and the next minute they are just bringing them smashing into the ground, right? This feels like an energy that is very, very shifty, right? Very, very unpredictable, and goes from one extreme to the next. But it's like, but you know better, right? It's like, I feel like you can see that. And the position that you've been put in is to keep you in this more balanced, neutral, harmonious state. Or you've taken that position, right? You've decided, I'm not dealing with this. I am not feeding this. Wow, Judgment in the reverse. mean, you... This is essentially God saying, I said what I said. Like, this is... You cannot make this up. It's so wild to me. And I find it fascinating that there's this energy of essentially not being able to hide from God, not being able to hide from truth or from karma. We have the Hermit also in the reverse. Okay, so before I get into this, like, I just want to point out the fact that, you know, we have Temperance here in the upright, this balanced space. And the King of Swords, which of course is this honesty. It's this seeing things for what they are and not trying to manipulate yourself into believing something else, but just seeing things for what they are, being very honest, very transparent with oneself. It's also this energy of turning knowledge into wisdom. Okay, so it's not just, oh, I see this and I'm just going to keep on, you know, pretending like I don't. No, it's I see this and I recognize what the situation is. I'm being shown very clearly what this is. And I'm doing what is necessary to keep things harmonious, to be very strategic about how I move in this situation, what I do or do not do, and letting truth set you free, letting truth do what truth does. And with the Hermit is a truth seeker. Okay, it is the wise old man. And here we have, you know, Judgment and the truth seeker, both in the reverse, right beneath the King, who has this excessive feeling of entitlement, right? Playing God. And here comes Judgment like, yeah, but that's not the truth though. You have no idea who you actually are. You're pretending. You don't want to know the truth. I feel like when all is said and done, there's this very strong feeling of you made your bed and now you must lie in it. It feels like a rude awakening. It feels like being exposed to what is actually true. I'm getting, oh my Lord, I don't know exactly where this comes from. I heard it in a movie called A Knight's Tale. I don't know if this is an original quote to that movie. I feel like it comes from somewhere else. I'm paraphrasing here, so I'm probably gonna botch it, but it's, you have been weighed, you have been measured, and you have been found wanting. That is what this feels like. Okay, and now I'm getting an image of the heart being weighed against a feather. This is brought forward in the Egyptian mysteries. I'm actually seeing that. For some of you, I feel like you were put in this person's life to give them an opportunity to do the right thing, to align with truth and God, the light. and they failed, right? They failed. I mean, even when I look at the King of Swords in the upright, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this, but there are what appear to be like 3 or 4 what look like what we would call cherubs, right? And it's almost like this King of Swords is just rolling over them. Now, I do feel like this card has shown up because the truth is the truth and you can't run from the truth. Okay, that's part of why I feel this showed up. But the King of Swords can be this manipulative energy. And there's this feeling of they believe they're this king, right? They're this gift. They know all. Right? There's this, I don't know, there's very arrogant energy and just rolling over this angelic energy as though they answer to no one. But clearly they're wrong. First of all, we all answer to God, right? And I feel as though, again, it's you have been weighed, you have been measured, and you have been found wanting. You don't measure up. Your heart is not lighter than the feather. Earlier, we talked about this hateful heart. And, you know, over time, it becomes hardened. And I feel like this person is being revealed in that way. Okay, so I'm getting the song, I Can See Your True Colors Shining Through. And that's what this feels like. That's what I feel like is going on. And again, this person is just, it's darkness. What else, please? Oh, wow. Thank you. Look at that. Stargate heart. Right out. Right out. Come on. Come on. This has heart chakra opening, unlocking generosity, and it landed right on that temperance card, right beneath that mediator. Both of these cards have basically the same meaning. This feels right on track with what I was saying about you being this opportunity, you being this karmic test of sorts, giving them an opportunity to do the right thing, giving them an opportunity to move from love, to move from freedom, to move from compassion and kindness and understanding and patience, etc., etc., right? To be Christ-like and to do what's right. And I'm sorry, but they just didn't. They just didn't. I'm so blown away right now by this. Thank you. One more, please. Thank you. Wow, you guys. Oh my Lord. You may have prayed for this person, actually, or these people, this group, whatever it is. You may have prayed for them, I'm getting, which, bless you. Like, God bless your heart for that, okay? So at the time of this recording, Venus has stationed or is stationing retrograde, which I find to be super fascinating. You know, we're talking about relationships here. We're talking about love. We're talking about, you know, being generous and compassionate and these sorts of things, very Venusian energies. And we have Venusian Galactic Council, star being guides, answer the call, time to shine. And they've both shown up in a way that, to me, I would read as being reversed, though this is not a deck that I've read cards in reverse, but it's coming through as this reversed energy, as this blocked energy. And I'm really, my mind is truly blown because it's, you could have been the shift, the karmic shift for them, right? It's that time for them to shine. It was time for them to step up and do what needed to be done in order to evolve, in order to grow, in order to move forward. And I just feel like they just didn't do that. Seriously. Ancestral realm, karmic release, healing the lineage boundaries. I wholeheartedly feel that the 3 of these cards came through to confirm that in some way you could have been the piece for them that allowed them to break free from a certain pattern, that allowed them to heal or gave them an opportunity to heal. So with these individuals or this individual, whatever it looks like, you could, so you could have actually seen or be privy to this knowing that they're not the first in their lineage to behave in this way. They're not the first to display these types of things, right? To do these types of things. And the fascinating thing about it is I feel like you are someone who is actually doing these things, right? I feel like you are someone who is actually doing this work, which is why you're able to see it so obviously in others when they're not, or they are, either way, right? Like they just feel like you can see it very clearly. And this is coming through to confirm that this person was also meant to do this. This person was also meant to recognize these things within themselves and to take it upon themselves with their free will to break free from that, to not repeat the patterns that those that have come before them were not able to break free from. This is giving me generational curses. This is giving me their parents or whoever, guardians, likely also did this to them, or they experienced it from someone somewhere. And now they've just become another cog in this karmic machine. They've just kept it going. It's really unfortunate, but I feel like this is a testament to how much you've grown. I feel like it's a testament to the person you are, especially if, for example, you have been praying for this person, or you have prayed for them, or if you've found forgiveness within your own heart for them, or maybe you've asked God to forgive them or to show them the way, or whatever it is. I feel like it says a lot about you. It says a lot about how much you've grown, because based on what I'm feeling, it speaks to your heart a lot. I feel like it speaks to who you are and the work that you've done on yourself, and coming from this space of this person has no idea what they're doing. All right, so final messages, please. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So we start off here with moon void of course, disconnect, withdraw, reception. It is in your best interest to remain, as disconnected, as far away from this situation as you can. I know that that's not always possible, but I do feel like there is this feeling of staying off of this person's radar, right? Keeping your distance, keeping them at arm's length. We also have here for you solstice, focus, transition, amplification. Yeah, it feels like focusing on yourself. Not only focusing on yourself, but also being prepared, I feel like, for a transition, being prepared for a different experience. You may be someone who has been going through a period of preparation, getting ready to transition into a different experience. I've just heard phasing out. Phasing out. So you could actually be getting ready to phase out of this person's life fully, completely. We also have here waning crescent moon, surrender, restoration, trust. You know, if this is someone, or if this is a group or whatever it is, that, you know, was a big part of your life, or had a level of significance for you, you know, I feel like there's this whole message of, I'm being reminded of Job again, but in a very different way coming through for you. It's actually bringing me to the end of Job, and forgive me, I don't know which verse or exactly what is said, but essentially what it's talking about is Job is given more than what he lost. Because I do feel like this group or this person has had an impact on your life. I do feel like things have been taken from you as a result of this person. Again, they could have been someone who was trying to alter the perceptions of others, trying to isolate you, you know, trying to turn people against you, that kind of thing. And so, you know, if you've lost friends or family members, you know, they've turned against you, they've bought and sold this nonsense, you know, this is saying you will get back what was taken from you. These things will be restored to you. And I feel like this is a result of your ability to surrender, your ability to trust God, and to just leave yourself out of it, right? It's like, I'm not going to try to make something happen. It's just, you know, wisely choosing your battles, and again, surrendering to God. Let Jesus take the wheel. Let God do what God does, and to just hand over the keys, right? And it's interesting how I've laid these cards down, because I really didn't think too much about it. But, you know, there's this separate energy. It's like being apart from that, you know, has allowed a certain degree of restoration already. Because I do feel like there is this energy of having lost a part of yourself, or lost time or energy or other people or whatever it is. It really does feel like this person's behaviors and actions could have had an impact on how you have perceived yourself, or, you know, maybe how you felt about certain areas of your life or things like this. And this period of being away from them, I feel like, has helped you to see yourself in a different way. So it does feel like this surrender, this trust is what will lead to your restoration. Because I don't feel like this person or this group in your life is going to just be able to keep getting away with what they've done. You know, eventually karma comes to collect. And I just feel that you can't hide from God. Okay, so thank you so very much for joining me. I pray that something here has provided you with confirmation or has provided some kind of value or help for you in some kind of way. Take care of your wise, strong, beautiful, loving, trusting soul. Peace be with you and within you, and I hope to see you in another chat. Bye.